Hello, everyone. My name is Moumita Rahman, and I am here to talk about immigration and to answer any questions that you might have. Today, I have a special topic for you because I spoke with someone who is in the middle of their green card process, but they're having some issues with their spouse. And as it so happens, the spouse is holding on to this client's immigration paperwork. They have received a request for evidence and other documents from immigration, and their spouse is basically saying, you can't have them. And this way, the client has no idea what sort of requests the government is making of their case. And as a result, the case can get denied. So if you are in a marriage-based green card application, but all of a sudden your spouse is holding on or hiding your mail, telling you that something wasn't received, or you've even separated and now they're basically not giving you anything that's coming through the mail, it can actually harm your case a great deal. So what options do you have? Well, number one, if you are filing for a marriage green card case, then you may have the option of filing something called a self-petition, because believe it or not, this sort of a behavior of hiding your mail, of throwing away your mail, of keeping things from you, of making you possibly on purpose get denied for a green card is actually a very controlling sort of behavior that may allow you to file for a self-petition and get a green card without the help of your spouse. And if you're already separated from your spouse, then this may be your only option in order to continue your case, in order to get a work permit, in order to get a travel document and be able to go back home. So the bottom line is that if your spouse has helped you file for a marriage-based green card application, but now your mail is going missing, they're not giving you the documents that you need, or you even get a request for evidence and your spouse is refusing to give you the documents that you need to file a proper response, it's time to give us a call. You can call us right now. We've got all my staff standing by to take your phone call, 212-248-7907. Now, if you've already filed the marriage green card process, it is crucial that you don't delay. Don't delay, especially if you have received a request for evidence that you are unable to respond to because your spouse is hiding the mail or they're not giving you the documentation that you need. Because otherwise, if that request for evidence is not responded to in a timely manner, you may end up getting your whole case denied. You won't be able to get your work permit sooner, and you may have to file the whole thing over again, meaning that you need to pay more fees. So if you find yourself in this situation, then don't hesitate. So thank you to everyone who's joining. Hello to Anne, Mohammed, Jean or Jean, and Mohammed Anish Sheikh. And hello to all of my Instagram followers and all of my TikTok followers. I'm going to take some questions. Please give me a little bit of patience while I go through them, as I've received a lot of questions. All right. Let's see. Someone's asking how to take permission to drive from India to US on a tourist visa. From Harinder, I'm really sorry. I don't know how to answer that question. And Preacher's asking, how can I buy a house in the United States? I am from Nigeria. You just have to have the money to buy a house. You don't need to be in the US. People buy property here all the time. I hope that helps. Okay. Let's see. And hello, Mayor Praz. All right. H1 is pending. 221G visa application needs to withdraw before attending H4 visa with Indian Embassy. Yes, you can go ahead and withdraw. Do you think DACA will stay and accept the ones that filed at the beginning of the year? From Karen Rocks. Karen, I do believe so. I think that there's no way that they're going to be able to get rid of this. And if the government makes, people have already paid money to file DACA applications. If they all of a sudden say that they cannot adjudicate this, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. They're going to have to return a lot of fees. They're going to face a lot of lawsuits. So that I think that this DACA saga is going to just continue for a little bit longer. But I don't believe that if you've already filed your application, it's not going to get denied. It's just on hold for right now until they figure that out. How long does an I-751 take? Okay, good question from Hunter. If you have filed an application called the I-751 application to remove conditions on your green card because you received a 2-year card and now your card is about to expire and you need to prove to immigration either that you married in good faith or that you're still together with your spouse or that it's ended for some other reason, this application takes a long time. If you are filing jointly with your spouse, normally if you do not receive any requests for evidence or requests for an interview, your I-751 will probably take about 1 year to 14 months approximately. If you receive a request for evidence or a request to show up for an interview, your I-751 can end up taking several years to process. And if you file with a request for a waiver, if they give you an interview, again, any interview request during the I-751 process can cause your application to end up taking up to 2 to 3 years, depending on the location where you have your interview, because interviews need to be scheduled according to the availability of the field office where you live. For example, here in New York, my home state, our interviews can take almost more than a year to get. In other places, like in San Antonio or in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, it might just take 3 months to get an interview. Hi, all in one click. DFW divorce attorney, hi, how are you? I'm gonna add you. I'm gonna try to figure out how to add you, divorce attorney. Let's see. 2 years green card from all in one click. I was able to apply before 2 years green card. Still, I don't get it. My wife is a citizen. I had it before. So if you have a 2-year green card and you have filed the application to remove conditions, again, this application takes a long time. That is why they give you a letter of extension. This letter of extension gives you 18 extra months on your green card, even past the expiration date. It used to be a 1-year extension, but because the government recognized that it was taking so long for them to process these cases, they have decided to give 18 months overall. But here's a little secret. As long as your I-751 is still pending and you haven't gotten a decision on it, you actually continue to hold conditional residence status the entire time. Imi Gujar is asking I-140 processing time. I don't know. You can look up anyone who's asking me what is the processing time. Processing times always are going to vary according to so many factors, including what location you file at, where you live, and what category of the application it is. For example, the I-140 has several different subcategories, and each of those subcategories get processed according to different locations and different times as well. You can look up this information online by looking at the uscis.gov website. Look underneath tools and look for that link that says case processing time, and voila, there you go. You just click on that link and you can look up your processing time. Mayor Praz is saying your spouse is no longer helping you get the visa after payment of NVC. Okay, that's a really hard problem. If you're going through the immigrant visa process through marriage to a US citizen and the spouse is no longer wanting to continue with your case and no longer help you with it, what are your options? Well, you actually might be eligible for a self-petition if any of the bad treatment you suffered from your spouse occurred inside the US at any time. At any time. You do not need to have lived in the US, but you do need to have lived with your spouse together. And if that's the case, give us a call, Mayor Praz, and we might be able to help you continue your case, okay? Hello, can I marry a visa on a tourist on a visa? I'm a US citizen from 8 Vision. Yes, you may be able to do that, but there are a few things that you have to keep in mind. They have to make sure that all the cards are in the right spot. Give us a call. I'd be happy to analyze that case. My cousin was arrested and the husband abandoned her, so she was deported. Is there anything that can be done? From Hafsa. Hafsa, if you have a family member who was deported, they might have some options. If her husband was a US citizen, then I'd be interested to know more. For example, what was the reason for her arrest and what happened and how she got deported. You can give us a call. I definitely would need to see the criminal records to see what she was arrested for and any of the deportation papers, okay? Ravi Kumar saying, are you available earlier? Because I tried to get an appointment, but I got something several times. You may have gotten rescheduled several times. Ravi, I'm really sorry. I'm not always available earlier. It's just the way that my schedule is. I'm very busy going to immigration and to asylum offices and to court. So I'm frequently out of the office. And then when I'm here, I do try to speak with as many people as possible, but just give us a call if you have an emergency, which includes a deadline or an interview coming up, then let us know and we'll do our best to prioritize you. And also just please note, everyone, that I may not be able to offer you a consultation in every single case because we try to prioritize cases that involve marriages to US citizens, whether they are going well or not, as well as certain humanitarian cases like asylum and some other sorts of cases, okay? So if we cannot help you, then we will do our best to refer you to someone who can. Bravo is asking, hello there, I just got married and we have a kid. Can I start the process for my husband? Yes, Bravo, yes, definitely give us a call, 212-248-7907. Congrats on getting married. It is definitely the first step. Now we need to analyze to see what your spouse's options are. For example, are they eligible to do the regular green card process, or do we have to look at certain other cases if they don't have a legal entry? Maybe they need a waiver, maybe they need something else. So give us a call, 212-248-7907. Jabran Malik is asking, can we check the status of decision online after an asylum interview at the office? Unfortunately, you cannot check that sort of a status online. The EDH channel is saying, hi, Moumita, are you Latina? I am not Latina. I am actually originally from Bangladesh, but I am learning Spanish because I have so many Latina and Latino and Latinx clients. I'm trying to do my best to help accommodate everyone. And for those of my clients who cannot speak any English, we have full-time bilingual staff to be able to help with the case. Any update on VAWA? I have a VAWA pending for over 20 months. I received the second prima facie letter with no request for evidence of what to expect now from Jean. Jean, this is actually normal. VAWA cases take usually about 24 to maybe 28 months to be processed. If you have not received a request for evidence by now, the chances are that you may not. But if you do, when people tend to get requests for evidence is around this time. Anywhere between 1.5 years to 2.5 years on a pending VAWA application. Mohammed Danish has a question. I already filed adjustment of status a month ago, but she isn't telling me anything about it and kicked me out of the house and is not letting me speak to my son. Mohammed Danish, I'm really, really sorry to hear that. No person deserves to not be able to talk to their kids. And if your spouse, who is a US citizen, is doing this to you, then you should call us right away, get an appointment, especially if you have a pending application or you need to get a green card. If your spouse is using the kids as a threat against you or threatening to take custody away from you or threatening to never let you see them again, this is a problem. This is a problematic behavior, and you may be eligible to file for a self-petition on this basis. Mohammed Danish, give us a call, 212-248-7907. Julie Vargas saying, what if my husband decides to get a divorce before I get my green card? Julie, give us a call because you might be surprised of what options you might have. Now, if you are already in the process, give us a call, 212-248-7907, even if you have already filed, okay? Gia Lopez is saying, I have contacted you about being military and wife being in Mexico. Yes, I think I remember you. I haven't heard back from you because it's a call. I really would love to get started on that case. How long is the pardon taking to get approved? I just did my fingerprints. The pardons can take anywhere from 6 months to a year to get approved. Once it's approved, there's additional processing you have to do to get your documents to NVC and then to wait for that interview. And the wait at that interview is something that can take a very long time. Now, depending on the consulate that you're at, if the consulate is open, for example, we're getting interviews. I'm going to do a video about this soon because I know I have a lot of people who are waiting for their visa interviews. But we have been having visa interviews in many places right now around the world. However, and those cases were documentarily qualified this year. However, there are some other consular posts that are not going to have interviews anytime soon, and especially for the cases that are just getting documentarily qualified, and that might include Ciudad Juarez, where I know that a lot of my clients have to go to for interviews. Hi, what happened to Nepal? I think that Nepal might be on the TPS list right now. I'm not too sure. Nepali TikTok is asking, hi, any updates on visa overstay? Are they willing to waive it? They are not, unless you are an immediate relative or you qualify for a humanitarian case. Jimmy Gills, thank you so much. Mohammed Danish, you can give us a call and tell us your need and explain your story, and then we'll see what we can do. Brent Ari is saying, I'm an asylum applicant and do not have a home country passport. I have, however, applied for advance parole to travel out of the US with the document, can I travel? So Brian, if you have been approved for asylum, then you are eligible to ask for a refugee travel permit. And the refugee travel permit is something that is basically like a passport. It even looks like a passport. It's really cool. It's really pretty. But if you are applying, if you have received advance parole, that by itself is probably not enough to let you travel outside the country. You normally need to have a passport to enter into another country's border and to be allowed back into the US. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure you're going to need a passport if you don't already have approved asylum. Then if you have an approved asylum, then you can apply for a refugee travel permit. Andre Eason is asking, I was in the process of starting a DACA case. With the current situation, should I wait? From Andre, yes, I know that I have a lot of DACA applicants who are applying for the first time, watching people who've got their applications pending for a long time. This is the thing. My opinion is that if you were already in the process of filing for DACA, get your applications together. Don't wait, because you don't know what's going to happen in a month or in like 2 weeks or tomorrow for that matter. Get your applications together. I'm pretty sure that the ruling from the Texas judge does not say that new applications need to be rejected. In fact, I'm pretty, I'll have to double check on this, but I'm pretty sure that you might still be able to just submit your DACA application, but they may just hold on to it. And if they don't hold on to it, then they're just going to reject it back to you. If that happens, it's not the end of the world. At least you've got your package ready to go for when the applications do open up again. So I do believe that you should continue with your process, get all that paperwork together, and sit on it and wait until it is time to submit it. Natalia is asking, can parents with a previous deportation get a green card petition from a U.S. citizen child approved? Natalia, yes, I love this question because many people don't always look at the post-life of a deportation, depending on the reason that you got deported for, as long as it was not something serious like certain criminal offenses, you may still be able to come back into the US. A lot of times for parents, they need to wait at least the full 10 years. They may need to do a couple of applications that are additional, but yes, you may be able to come back inside the US, okay? Now, if if anyone else has been deported, usually you need to have an immigrant visa available, and sometimes you can come back even earlier than the 10 years that you might be barred for, but you need to have a waiver to come back in sooner, which usually means that you need to have either a parent or a spouse who's a US citizen or a green card holder, through which you can request an I-601 waiver. Julie Varga, Tiny Nympho, thank you for answering. Yes, it's $150 for a consult. Okay. I have TPS travel advance parole. Can I travel? Yes, Mount Everest. If you have advance parole and it's not expired, you should be able to travel, but always check with a lawyer, because if you have any sort, traveling on advance parole does not necessarily mean that it is completely 100% risk-free. But for the most part, I have not heard of anyone having problems coming back on advanced parole. I have had I have definitely had every single person of my clients who have left on advanced parole have always come back with no issue. But this is not the case for everyone. So you really want to go over your case with your attorney to make sure that it's not an issue for you, because there are some problems that you may have that would be an issue for advanced parole, such as criminal issues, or your advanced parole is about to expire, or it has expired while you're outside. Those are some bad issues. Is there a way to come back to the U.S. with a green card if you stay out of USA for 2 years? From Belbar, Oregon. Yeah, just show up. The worst that will happen to you is that you're not allowed back in, but you can ask the CBP officer to basically send you to court so that you can prove that you didn't abandon your status. I actually just had somebody come back in after being outside for more than a year, but there were some reasons that he was able to explain coherently to the Customs and Border Patrol officer that, his mother had been sick and then COVID-19 happened and these sort of things. So you need to provide reasons about why you stayed outside for so long. And either CBP is going to believe it or they're not. So you might be able to come back and you might not. Nikki Ram was asking, I have sinus problems. Thank you, Rascal. How long after submitting civil documents do you have to wait for a visa appointment? I would say it depends on the consulate. Sometimes we've waited anywhere from 30 days to several months in this past year for an appointment, and we're waiting even longer in other cases. So it really depends. All right, I'm just going to answer questions for a few more minutes, guys. Let's see. After your visa interview at the embassy, how do you get your green card? Is there a website you apply for the green card for the 2 years? From Love. Love, that's a great question. For all of my friends over here who are going for their visa interview for a green card, you will get your green card pretty much automatically once you fly into the US and you get your passport stamped and endorsed by immigration. The green card comes in the mail. You don't have to do anything extra. However, you need to pay a specific fee online. It's called the immigrant fee with USCIS. And normally when you get your passport back, they will actually give you instructions and the link that you have to go to pay the fee. It's approximately $200 right now. And this is the production fee. This is actually what you are basically paying for the card to be produced. However, please note that this card can take anywhere from 2 months to 6 months or more to get in the mail. And if you don't get it, rest assured, the stamp in your passport that has the official CBP stamp on it, it's actually your proof of your residency, whether it's conditional residency or permanent residency. And this is valid for a period of 1 year. You can actually travel back and forth between the US and outside the country with the stamp, and it is your proof of work authorization as well. All right. How long does it take to get a green card after I receive my EAD? I'm in California. That really depends, Julie, on your local office times for the interview. Can you travel with your green card if your passport picture is faded? From Nikki Ramu. I don't know. I guess you just have to check to see what how bad the passport is to see if the passport is acceptable. Okay, I'm just going to answer one more question. Here's an interesting one. If someone got a permanent green card through marriage to a U.S. citizen, but it turns out they married for papers, what type of proof do we need to revoke the permanent green card, or what options are there? All right, so there is no paperwork that you can really give. USCIS will conduct their own investigation, and I would say, I get this call from a lot of people that, I found out that this person married me just for papers. Well, the reason that, just because somebody ends up getting an immigration benefit out of the marriage does not mean that they married you for papers. I would ask, well, did you guys have a courtship? Was it real at all in any sort of way for you and for them? Just because a relationship turns bad does not mean that it's a fake marriage, or that the marriage was not real, or that they used you. There's always two sides. However, I am sorry for anyone who goes through any sort of, troublesome times, whether you are a U.S. citizen or the immigrant. All right, with that, I hope everyone has a good night. Buenas noches. I will see everyone tomorrow, hopefully.